All right, hey people, Russ Jensen. So it's 5:30 p.m. on the 10th day of December 2018, Salt Lake City, Utah. It's a Monday, and to be honest, it's been a tough day for me. So now, I was going to talk about prospecting and starting to find people and building your list and all that stuff, but I think I'm going to go back and reiterate some things about your mindset and how you judge your own success, because sometimes, and I find myself over the weekend especially, I was watching a lot of these videos, the people from went to Frankfurt and came back, and the top leadership, and all these people had all this fantastic, wonderful success. And I look at the efforts of myself and my team, and it pales in comparison to what these people have been able to accomplish. And of course, yeah, they've got started a whole lot earlier, and perhaps they have a whole different set of skills and contacts and network and all those different things. But it is easy to get discouraged when we don't feel like we're having the success that we should be, and that people around us are being very closed and very negative, condescending even. And it's times like that that it becomes very important that we understand, number one, that we have a very strong why of the purpose, what we're doing this for, and that we have keep things in proper perspective of what we're doing, because what you're doing is the only thing that is important. That's the only thing you have any control over. You can't control what other people do or don't do, what people say or don't say, think or don't think. You can only control you. So at times like this, I find it helpful to go back and maybe look at some of these little motivational memes that people have out. And Mr. McGinty does a fantastic job in his various little newsletters of always putting something in. And I go off into this quote from Bill Brett, who's the Amway multimillionaire. This little quotation that a lot of people are familiar with, but talking about the fact how we just showed the plan to 1,200 people, and out of that 900 people said no. That means only 300 people signed up. Now out of that 300, only 85 did anything. Now those 85, only 35 were serious. Now those 35, 11 made me a millionaire, what he's saying. And so we have to begin to understand that 90% of the people that we talk to are just not going to get it. They're not going to be interested. They don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have an interest. And so we need to keep something in mind to get us beyond the numbers, get us beyond the fact of making money. And that's why I believe it's very important to have a why that's not result oriented. Not a new car, new house, more money. Yeah, it has to be something beyond that. Whatever that is for you. For me, it's kind of multi-layered, very complex, and part of something I've been working on for years and years and years in working against the status quo, the establishment. What I see is outright criminality in our society, our governments, our governance, corporate governance, political governance. So that's my why. Help bring in this new paradigm shift. You got to find your own why that's beyond that. And my dad left a little saying for us. In fact, he made these little beautiful little photographs, a meme saying that he had made for us the Christmas before he passed. Talked about service and ask the question of, is the fire in the furnace of your soul sufficient to warm another's heart? And so on days like today, I'll look at that and wonder. And then I begin to think about the things that have happened in my little organization, my experience with Carrot Bars, what I've done, and and realizing that all the days that I wanted to give up making these little videos because nobody's watching them, nobody's commenting, doesn't seem like they have an impact of any kind. It seems like a big waste of time. But then I realized and take a look at what happened and how it is that I came into acquaintance with Mr. Pastor Murphy T. Jackson over in Liberia. Now here's a man who had signed up in Carrot Bars, not through me, but originally through some other person. And I'm guessing because Liberia was closed for business, that his sponsor just didn't provide him the kind of support that he was looking for. And somehow one day he popped up on my Facebook Messenger asking me if I would become his sponsor. And of course, I didn't know at the time he'd already owned Carrot Bar, so I started talking to him a little bit and getting some things going. And then realized that he was in Liberia. It was a closed country, and so I talked to him about that. And then he revealed to me the fact that he was already in Carrot Bars. I was like, well, that's fine. I'm happy to help you, but we're not really much that he can do. But he was very persistent. I told him then I was also feeling a little bit uncomfortable working with him because he was in somebody else's organization. Now, I can help him, and I would, and I did. But I began looking at how to get a package over there. I guess that's really how the story really went, was I was looking at helping him get a package, and that's when I found out that Liberia was closed, because I didn't even know it was a closed country. I didn't go check the active country list. Thinking, hey, they're already in 126 countries. I'm sure Liberia's on it, but it's not. Anyways, Mr. Jackson went to Carrot Bar's corporate, asked them to remove him from where he was at and put him over in my organization. And so now we've got a lot of things that we're working on to try to develop that area over there, get it on the active country list. And I say that not because I've done anything spectacular. I say that simply for the fact that we don't know the impacts that we have on people, known and unknown, primarily unknown to us, and the efforts and things that we're doing and saying, because we don't always know how far our actions reach, the impacts. And so I guess for me, that's what I kind of look at as a little bit of encouragement, that if I hadn't have continued doing some of my short videos when I didn't feel like doing them because it didn't seem like they were having any effect of any kind, that's what Mr. Jackson resonated with and brought him into a stronger alliance with Carrot Bars and an opening there, an opportunity for Carrot Bars and Carrot Bars family to acquire a new country, a whole new society, also access to a lot of the gold resources and things that they have there, working through the Liberian government, which is what we're trying to establish now. But the point is that we don't know, and so it's sharing the message as much and as often as we possibly can. Because maybe the person that you speak to isn't interested, but they make a mention of it to somebody else who might is. And so I'll end with this last little saying from Mr. McGinty had in one of his newsletters several weeks ago. It says, the only thing keeping you from getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself about why you can't have it. It's that mental state, that mental perception that we have, and looking for all the reasons why we can't instead of the reasons why we can. And even when we're looking for that reason of why we can, it seems like there's so much working against us all the time. And that becomes where focus is important. That becomes where your why is important. That becomes an understanding that it's, if we set reasonable expectations for ourselves, number one, and then number two, create an action plan, and we determine our success or failure based on on how we implement the action plan. Whether we've taken the actions, the steps that we set out to do, regardless of what the outcomes are or the results. Now, this is a numbers game, just like Mr. Britt was talking about. 1,200 led to 11, and the 11 created his fortune for him. So we need to keep that in mind. And understanding that, yeah, there's going to be days, some days are going to be better than others. There's a journey, it's not a destination, and that it's the activities that produce the results. And when we do enough activities over a long enough period of time, we're going to have results. Just are. So, love everybody, and I'll come back tomorrow, hopefully be a little more on point, on track. I can't even talk. But begin talking about prospecting, how we find people, how we interact with people, some different things that we can looking at. And with these last things being implemented by Karatbars, it's time for us to really go, full throttle, maximum capacity, maximum effort, like Mr. Size had asked for a number of months ago. Time is now to go for maximum effort. So, anyways, love everybody, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great night. I can't even. Yeah, okay.